Now, yesterday when it was announced that Eric DeCosta and the Baltimore Ravens were going to be picking up Kyle Hamilton's fifth-year option, I'm like, duh, no-brainer right there. We all knew that was coming. And so our guy Linda Flender is on the way too. They certainly picking up Tyler Linderbaum's fifth-year option too, right? And the Baltimore Ravens said, nope. We are certainly declining that. And when that came across my screen, I said, what? Why they do? Hold up, what the? But then I thought about it, and I said, oh, okay, I get it. So we're going to look into the logistics of exactly why they picked up Super Duper Cows, but why they declined Linda Flinders in a couple of minutes. We're going to go over the logistics of all of that. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn them notifications on and leave a like on the video. And also, I am the Black EDC with this bald head now. I accidentally went a little bit too low when I was cutting my hair yesterday, but we're going to reward y'all for me making a mistake. So we got a little care package to send out to somebody, whoever got the best bald joke. Keep it clean, of course, but make it fun. So whoever got the best bald joke, y'all put it in the comment section. Let me have it. I know y'all going to because y'all always looking for ways to let me have it. Anyway, let's get into it. So yesterday, the Baltimore Ravens announced that they will be picking up Kyle Hamilton's fifth-year option, but declining Tyler Linderbaum. Let's read the statement from Eric DeCosta and these Baltimore Ravens. It says, we are exercising a fifth-year option for Kyle Hamilton with the goal of working toward a multi-year contract extension. And yeah, duh. And he said, while we will not apply the fifth-year option to Tyler Linderbaum, it is our intention for him to remain a Baltimore Raven long-term. So they said, hey, Kyle Hamilton, fifth-year option. We're picking it up for sure. Linderbaum, we ain't picking it up, but we still want to come to a contract extension with him. So with with Kyle Hamilton, let's start with him first. They picked it up. Best safety in the league. We already know that. His fifth-year option is worth $18.6 million. So they probably figure, you know what? With Kyle Hamilton, we're going to have to pay him around that amount of money anyway. With the fifth-year option, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. So there ain't no take backs, anything like that. It ain't no oopsies. You can't be no Indian giver with that one. Once you give it, once you announce it, that's it. And just like our Baltimore Ravens love to do, the deadline to announce the fifth-year options was today. They announced it yesterday. You know, Baltimore, they love pushing stuff all the way out to the deadline. But I would assume that with them waiting to the deadline, I mean, they do stuff to the deadline regardless, but I would assume that they were still trying to come to a contract extension with either of the two, probably both, but certainly Tyler Linderbaum. But before we get to him, with Kyle Hamilton, no-brainer. Again, he was going to make this money anyway when he gets his new deal. So with the fifth-year option, this will be his fourth year, and then this will be his fourth year. Then the fifth-year option will be next year, and that's for both of them because they both got drafted in the same draft class, which was an amazing one, by the way. EDC, hey, EDC started off a little bit shaky in the draft, but as time has been going on, he's been getting better and better and getting more impact over the years, and we're gonna see how this draft class does as well. But anyway, with Kyle Hamilton, this was this was a layup. But with Linderbaum, why would they decline his? Because Linderbaum, one of the best centers in the league. Like, we don't give out nicknames to people that can't play. And Flender, that's why we call him that, because he's like that, man. So shout out to Tyler Linderbaum, man. But with him, how much would his fifth-year option cost? Well, let's go over it. It will be $23.4 million. And why it makes sense that the Baltimore Ravens, they decided to decline that, because again, the fifth-year options, they're guaranteed. And centers, the money that centers are making right now, they're making about $18 million per year. So Ravens were like, hold up, buddy, the $23.4 million, I don't think we're going to go that high. Just chill out. We got you, but we ain't going that high. We're going to reset the market for you, but we ain't going to reset it like that. So, because if you paying him over $5 million more than what centers are making, woo, even if it's for 1 year, you know, Raven, and it will be guaranteed. So, you know, the Baltimore Ravens, they certainly don't want to do that. So I would assume, and they announced it today. They said they still want Tyler Linderbaum to remain with the Baltimore Ravens for the long term. And of course they would. Like, do you remember? Because I seen some people saying, oh, center's not a priority. It ain't that big of a deal. You could let Tyler Linderbaum walk and you can get another one. You could do that. But why would you? If you have a really good center in place, like, I think there's some people that probably forget what life was like before the consistency of Tyler Linderbaum. Has he had some errant snaps here and there? He has. He certainly has. But those errant snaps used to happen a lot more frequently before Tyler Linderbaum. Y'all don't remember the musical chairs that they were playing at center before our guy Linderflinder? Oh my goodness, it got ugly, man. It really, really did. They would put this guy there, they put that guy there, they put that guy there, they put that guy. It was Matt Scorer. The Matt Scorer got hurt. They put Patrick McCarry there sometimes. They were trying out all these different people, and it was getting crazy, man. It was getting crazy, and there was such a lack of consistency. And something that we talked about before the Baltimore Ravens drafted Tyler Linderbaum is that they needed a true center. Not somebody that got moved there in college or in high school. No, somebody that's been playing center since high school. Somebody that's been playing center for years, a true center, and that's exactly what they got with Tyler Linderbaum, and he's been excellent, amazing at the job. Does he have his hiccups here and there? Of course, everybody does. Everybody does, but Tyler Linderbaum is like that. So you don't want to try to fix something that's not broken, and Tyler Linderbaum is certainly working for sure. Now, one thing, I know Jeff Zrebiec brought this up in The Athletic. If the Baltimore Ravens would have given Tyler Linderbaum that fifth-year option, if they would have picked that up, there'd be a little bit of risk in that. I mean, there's risk in everything, especially when it comes to long-term contracts for these football players. But we know he dealt with some injuries last year. He dealt with some neck injuries last year. And again, it happens. It happens. And it caused him to miss a little bit of time. But we know, like Linderbaum, healthy Linderbaum, he's one of them guys. So again, this all makes sense. Initially, it didn't, but then when you think about it, the logistics, and you think about all the numbers and everything, it's like, all right, Eric DeCosta, you got it. So now we done reached my favorite part of the videos where we get to feature your questions. If you would ever like to take part in it, you can send an email like a lot of y'all have to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com, or for the Team Keep It Clean patrons, you can send your question in a DM directly on Patreon. If you would like to become one, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. If you would like to support the channel anyway, the link is down. Everything's down in the description. If you ever want to send something to us, the mailing address is down below in the description. All of that stuff is down there. Man, it's funny because somebody in the comment section yesterday, they said, man, you know what? I'm going to just find that jacket on my own. Forget you, Ingraven. I'm going to find where you got this jacket on my own. And I'm thinking like, my fault, buddy. I didn't see your comments before asking where I got it from. Because I would have told, I ain't gatekeeping. People ask about this jacket. I found it at Towson Town Center 2 years ago when I was up there. If I could buy a supply for whole Team Keep It Clean, I sure would. But we ain't got it like that, my friend. But my fault, my friend. I wasn't trying to ignore you. I try to be in the comment section as much as I possibly can. But a lot of times we be working, and once we make one video, we be like, all right, what's going to be next? What's happening now? So it's a lot, man. So my apologies for that. I was not trying to ignore you. So it was at Towson Town Center. It was in one of the stores that was all the way upstairs in the corner. I don't remember what store it was, though. But that's where I got it from. But anyway, let's get into, I really do love y'all, man. Let's get into this first question that came from a Team Keep It Clean patient, my guy, Derrick. He said, hey, Ingraven, how's it going, brother? Hey, Derrick, how's it going, brother? He said, hey, man, you know the okay saying, no question is a dumb question. I got one for you. Is it weird I grew up with the old school Ravens like Ray Lewis, Ed, J.O., C-Mac, Trevor, Todd Heap, Jamal Lewis, Bart Scott? Those Ravens hold near and dear memories with me. I want to buy their jerseys. However, these current Ravens like Zay Bate, Mark Andrews, I like them, but they don't hold nothing near and dear to me, and I can never see myself buying their jerseys. The only Raven I would buy is Kyle Hamilton. And of course Lamar, but everyone else, not at all. Wait, I lied. There are 5 I would buy. That's Kyle Hamilton, Tylan Wallace, Justice Hill, Isaiah Likely, and of course the Pitbull himself, Ardarius Washington. Oof. With that being said, that Ardarius Washington jersey would be a nice one, but in my opinion, I mean, I would love it if it wasn't, but it probably after next year, it's probably going to be a throwback. Anyway, he said, I don't know, man. Those other guys just don't scream Raven to me, man. Like, I can see Justice, Kyle, Likely, Washington, and Tylan Wallace playing in the Brian Billick era. Those 5 have that it factor with them. They're the only Ravens I would buy. I just don't have that other nostalgia factor from the other guys. Well, I mean, I think it's because it's not nostalgic, because they're the right here, right now Ravens. They're not the old Ravens. So when you think about the old Ravens, yeah, you get nostalgia because that was back then, but this is the here and the now. He said also, I have one last question. Why doesn't Jared Johnson get any praise at all? He was there from 2003 to 2011, and when he left, the Ravens run defense struggled. Even when Suggs came back, Jared definitely set the edge well. Oh, he really did. He was nice because Jared Johnson, he was like, Jared Johnson and Courtney Upshaw for a little bit too, but Jared Johnson did a lot of dirty work, man. Setting the edge, just taking up offensive linemen and just consuming them so other guys could make the splashy, the sexy plays. But Jared Johnson, he did a lot of the grimy stuff, man. So shout out to him, Double J. He said also, how are you? May God bless you and the family, and let's give into it, man. This year, I want our DBs to be aggressive and assertive. This offseason showed me two things. Within our division, wide receiver and QB is a must, meaning the Browns loaded up on QBs the same way we used to with Pokemon cards back in the day. Got to catch them all. LOL. The Browns said QBs, we got to sign them all, meaning it's a real possibility we could see all 4 Browns QBs this season. They got like 6. They got 6. He said Watson, Flacco, Pickett, and Shedeur Sanders. Each quarterback has a skill set that should never be underestimated. And yes, the Steelers and Bengals. They got Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett. Don't they still got Dorian Thompson-Robinson? Or did they trade him in that Kenny Pickett? No, they still got him, right? And then I know they drafted another quarterback too, I believe. Anyway, he said Pittsburgh is still a question mark at QB, but like Cincinnati, they're set at wide receiver. And this is when I say our DBs have to be aggressive. The Bengals receivers are naturally more talented and gifted than the Steelers wide receivers. They are, but Steelers wide receivers ain't too shabby, buddy. But he said, so it's more about self-discipline and being smart when playing Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. However, DK Metcalf and George Pickens, man, he said we may have to sign Aaron the Plumber to get our team ready to be physical in a real. Get out of here. But yeah, hey, they're gonna have to be right, man. That secondary, like you see, we see that the Baltimore Ravens have invested a lot into the secondary as far as the draft picks have. Obviously Malachi Starks, and they drafted 2 corners, and that's always something that they do. They draft 2 corners, but also the Mike Green pick, that's also an investment into the secondary because that's an investment to the pass rush. And the pass rush can make a bad secondary look even better. It can make a great secondary look even better. So that's important. Guys like Fubb, Aeneas Peebles, somebody who is just a pass rush winner. Straight up. So that's an investment into the secondary as well. So all of that stuff helps. They obviously signed Chidobe Awuzie just for a potential starter, quality depth. So Ravens, they brought back Ardarius Washington too. So yeah, man, they understand the importance and the significance of a good secondary. When we saw the Bengals 2 times last year, boy, they light us up, man. Yeah, we won both of them games. Hey, that's all that matters to them, baby. But they still lit us up. So we don't want them lighting us up like that. We don't want nobody lighting us up like that. And we know, like you mentioned, these other AFC North teams, just the AFC, just the NFL in general, man. It's a passing league. So we ain't trying to have everybody pass on us. Next question came from RicoFrmBmo. He said the third emergency QB. He said, I found a little time to go over some of our undrafted players, and the name Colin Schlee is a name to keep an eye on. A QB out of Virginia Tech. Check out his highlights if not already. I have not got a chance to watch any of the undrafted rookie free agents yet, but we will get to that as soon as we possibly can. And he said, do you think he can be our QB3 over Devin Leary? Ooh, I mean, when Devin Leary was out there last year, it was tough. It was rough. And it was like, woo. That's why I was thinking, would they give it to Emory Jones? But then at the same time, it's like, no, they drafted Devin Leary, so they're not gonna go with an undrafted guy over Devin Leary and Devin Leary was handpicked by T. Martin, I believe. So there was that. So they were locked in. So it was like, no, they're gonna go with Devin Leary, and then they end up going with Devin Leary as that third QB. But so this year, with Colin Schlee, again, I haven't watched him yet, but you got to think like the Ravens, again, Devin Leary was handpicked last year. And he was drafted as a quarterback. So you would think that he would have that edge, especially with him having a year in this system already, a year around the playbook, a year around the team already. So he got that advantage. But we'll see. But before I watch anything, I'm going to still have to probably go with Devin Leary just because of those factors. EDC in the draft. Next question came from my guy, Bree. He said, what's good, Ingraven? Big fan of the channel and what you do. Hey, I appreciate you, Bree. Thank you, my friend. He said, I hope God continues to keep blessing you and the family. Thank you, man. For real, man. He said, I've been critical of Eric DeCosta and the organization as a whole. I understand. And it's okay to be critical. Respectfully critical, of course. And I love when people are critical of certain things, that they have valid reasons to back it up. They not just like, oh, I don't like that. I think that's stupid. I think that's dumb, and just sit there. But no, I love when people explain exactly why they don't like something or why they do like something. So I think that's important whenever you're having a conversation about anything, but especially when it comes to these Baltimore Ravens. Anyway, he said, I've been critical of EDC and the organization as a whole, but I give credit where credit is due. This was a good draft by Eric DeCosta. We got a couple of steals in the draft, like Webster from Colorado. Hey, Florida Ravens, stand up. Real quick, again, y'all was in the comment section yesterday. Y'all know I'm going to talk about me some Florida Ravens, baby. I love me some Florida Ravens, baby. I mean, we love the Ravens as a whole, of course, but the Florida Ravens, they got an extra special place in my heart because I got to hold it down for us Florida Ravens down here. But somebody in the comment section, they was like, Ingraven, wait, hey, could you chill out with all that Florida Ravens talk, because Baltimore already don't get enough as is. So you taking away by saying Florida Ravens. And I was like, no. That's not the intention. You know, I got all the love in the world for Baltimore, the city. Baltimore, the team, the Ravens. So don't get that twisted. I just say the Florida Ravens is just any of the Ravens that's from Florida. That's all that is. And I know there have been some other people that say, oh, hey, don't call it the Florida Ravens, it's the Baltimore Ravens. It ain't getting the teams mixed up or nothing like that. It's just the Ravens that's from Florida. That's it. It's just me showing a little extra love to them. So y'all already know it's all love. Anyway, continuing. So he said we got a couple of steals in the draft, like Webster from Colorado, Mike Green from Marshall, Emory Jones Jr. from LSU. Oh, the offensive lineman. I gotta watch him. They said he's gonna be sort of like a swing tackle. Anyway, and Aeneas Peoples from Virginia Tech. Yeah. He said this draft to me is different from other years because we got multiple guys that are plug and play type of players. This has me wondering, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Do you think they were behind the scenes conversations on how we wanted to draft this year? I asked this because I remember Steve Bisciotti and John Harbaugh having an interview not too long ago, and Steve said he wanted to win now. Oh, you talking about maybe like a month and a half ago, where Steve Bisciotti said he tired of waiting. He said, I don't want to wait another 12, 13 years for a Super Bowl. I ain't trying to wait that long. Bisciotti, we right there with you. We don't want to wait either. So he said, I wonder if, he said, after this past season ended, I wondered if Steve had conversation with EDC and John and told them we need to get players that can play now. Not saying there's something wrong with developing players, but it seems like we got guys who can develop, but they're ready to play now. Well, hopefully. Just want to know your thoughts on this. And like Shannon Sharp told ESPN after getting sued, I'm out. Woo! That whole, woo! That's a met 25K. Whoa, Shannon Sharp. That boy. Per cheek. Anyway. Back to the play here right now. Ready to play right here, right now. Yes. I think that's important with any draft, and something that we talked about earlier with EDC. His first couple of drafts, they started off a bit shaky here and there, but recently he's been drafting better and been drafting more impact players recently. Been drafting more players that can contribute right away. Obviously, everything depends on the depth chart. Everything depends on opportunity. Everything depends on so much. Everything depends on the situation. But, yeah, you look first round, Malachi Starks, he's going to be in there playing a lot. Second round, Mike Green, he's going to be in there playing a lot. Third round was the Emory Jones, but so he's not going to be playing too often. But it's and I mean that's normal for fourth round and later. You don't expect many of those guys to start. They'll be special teams. They may be different little plays here and there, packages here and there, but you don't expect those guys to start because the Ravens already got a nice roster. They already got pretty much most of their starters in place already. So there's that. With Emory Jones, could he possibly compete for that left guard spot? Maybe. It's a possibility. So there's that. But again, Malachi Starks and Mike Green, they're going to get plenty of opportunities to play. But again, we have our starters, even at the safety spot. We got our starters, our Darius Washington, Kyle Hamilton. We have been looking for that third safety to complement those guys. So we got that. We got our starters at corner, at inside linebacker. We got Roquan Smith, but then it's, they said, I think it's Buchanan. I think that's his name. I apologize. I got to watch a film on him so we can talk about him soon. But they said he could be a potential starter. He's somebody that's ready right here, right now. Across our defensive line, we got our starters there. Then you go to offense. We talked about the offensive line and wide receivers. We obviously got our starters there. Tight end, obviously got our starters. Quarterback, I think we got our starter there. At running back, too. So we got starters pretty much everywhere. The only question marks that we didn't have starters is, and we kind of do, but at left guard. Yeah, left guard. That was a question mark. But whether it's going to be Andrew Voorhees, it probably ain't going to be Ben Cleveland. And then they got the draft. Then they can still sign a veteran too. So as far as the impact from the players in the draft, it's obviously you're going to get more impact from the top heavy. The impact from the draft is going to be more top heavy. Excuse me. So it's normal. But again, EDC has been getting better at these things. Oh, but somebody else who could have a big impact right away, who he drafted late in the 6th round, is that boy to help keep us in the loop.